Hello there, welcome to new video of software engineering. In this class, we are going to see the last chapter of Unit 2, that is behavior modeling, which will be the last part of our Unit 2. With the behavior model, we are also going to see some sequence diagrams, which we are going to see in coming slides. What do you mean by behavior model? Which give you the dynamic behavior of your system. What do you mean by dynamic behavior? If you are 0, it will be at 1. If you are 1, it will be at 0, based on that input, correct? Based on some events. Whereas class diagram represent static variable, where if it is 0, it will be at 0. If it is 1, it will be at 1. This will be represented in this one. What are the key points which we have to take according to behavior model, correct? Then what are the key points? How to build a behavior model? We have to evaluate the things, evaluate the function, which are functional, non-functional requirement, and everything. Evaluate all use cases. Identify the events, which events are going to work out, and when that event happens, what will be the output, how the system behave, what I would, which I can able to tell you how the triggers happens. Triggering we can able to see in DBMS, but as we move on to Unit 4, I'll be able to help you up how you represent triggering in behavior model. Create a sequence, visualize things, visualize how things are working, how if one input work, a transaction work, what are the internal process are being used, how they are used, it is been represented in these diagrams, correct? So and then we verify the accuracy and consistency. So first we have to sequence the diagram, where first we have to evaluate the functional and non-functional requirement, then how the system behave, sorry, for an external event, create or visualize the things, build a state diagram, then you'll see this one. Now UML state diagrams, round, corner, rectangle are used to each state. Round, rectangle or round corner, this state display varied condition of the state. Arrows are labeled, means from one state to other how they are represented. And guards, GURDS, guards are limited views for Boolean values, correct? So if you have this, or if you have this, then it is represented for state, which state it is going, and if you have arrows, it is represented right how the transaction works, and limited one state to other with the help of Boolean values. In the use case, we are going to see with the help of an example and how it works out. There are 5 states which are working here, 4 states which are available in the state diagram. What is the event? Observe circumstances that the character behave on a system. It's give a time. Let's take example state. If you are login, you have a minimum number of 5 attempts or 5 minutes you have to log on. Observe circumstances. Observe the circumstances and give the output. If that circumstances doesn't happen, then it will be remain in that system. State transaction from one state to other. Event, it has system has changed from one system 0 to 1. Here it's already gone to 1. It's at one state. Occur that cause system to exhibit, predict the behavior once it going to action, executed the process. Action, executed the process, correct? So there are 4 points which are very important. State, you have to observe the circumstances, and based on that we have to move forward. State transaction is something where we are going from 0 to 1. Event, we are already event 1, and action, execution process, control process, or we can tell it. There is an example which is given. State, which is here. What is this? Set of observation. User logged in, log on into the system. User is logged into the system. Allow them to access the chart, wish list, and checkout. Correct? User logged in. Correct? User logged in means they have to use username and password. Until that is there, they cannot done it. So you have to wait for some time. Correct? About 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second. This is there. Then you have to go to shopping out. Then state, what is the next point we have represent? State transaction. Here it is trace transaction, correct? Which is the point 3. Logged out to log in successfully. One state to other. Log in to log out when the logout event occur. Shipping chart. Okay, you have moved out, or payment. You have transaction from one state to other. Log in to log out. You have moved it. Log in to state transaction. Means transformation. Then event, login attempt, how many event you have got. The user decide to log out. Means event he had decided, means it's moving out From this it is moving out to 1. Here it's already been in one state. Here it is moving out from 0 to 1. It's here it is already been in one state. Action successfully, attempt event. We have already this process, control process, we call it as which already occur. Which already occur. Now UML state diagram. Here's something. Here rectangle represent logout login boxes. Arrows are represented actions, means label diagrams, and we have to see this example. Look here. Reading, key point, comparing, validate test, validate password, number of incorrect password. If it is maximum number of while logged, otherwise select. What are the select operation? You have to do it based on the activated successfully. This is what rectangle. Correct. What is rectangle? State represent state. Then arrows represent transactions. Correct. Represent transactions. Object flow among object actor may represent. Sorry, this is action. Maybe know the transaction. How user does when the transaction authenticated user. These are options available. So state diagram. Rectangles and round represent the states of the system. Rectangle and round represent the sequence of states. Correct. Now let's move on to other UML sequence diagram. This is very important point of view. Build a use graph, determine how the event transaction from you visualize things, visualizing things in a sequence diagram. Key class actors are shown across the top. Object and activation are shown in a rectangular box. Arrows are labeled. Object flows are representation. So this we can able to help you with the help of an example. So we have to, what do you mean by sequence diagram? It is help to visualize things. Arrows are shown how things are moved and everything. Let's represent it. Sequence diagram, object U0 represent. Type of integration diagram, how what order group of object are works. So we have got, it is represented by symbol. Rectangle bar represent time needed for a time needed object to complete the task. So how much time it is needed to complete the task, it is represented this one. This is object box. This is an actor which uses, this is a lifeline symbol represent the password represent the passage of time extended towards it, how it is behaved. Vertical shows sequence of event occurring of object during the chart box and everything. This is package symbol which is notated in 0.2 notation, contain inactive element in diagrams. Correct. So let's take an example, and these are arrows. Means this arrow means must wait for an input to response. Correct. This is TCP/IP protocol. Means what? You take it and you have to wait for the response. Correct. Here UDP, I call it UDP, wireless transformation, where we don't have to wait for anything. It goes on, and here you get a reply from this one. A reply. Correct. And create a new object with this symbol. Correct. And you also have a reply for message for event that has been occurred. So in other words, if I represent this arrow means I have to get this reply back. If I don't have to wait for the reply, I use this symbol. If somebody is coming with the reply, it is represented with this one. If an object is creating with this one, it is represented by this one. A reply with some messages or something, it is represented with one. And this we call it as an actor. This is represented as this one. And we will go with the diagram, then we'll see it. Correct. This is how. Look, object. Am I right? Object. System ready. Yes. A rectangle. What do you mean by rectangle? Activation box. Correct. It is an activation box. Whereas here you come here. Activation box. Correct. This is object, hometown, start, password, enter a password. Once you enter a password, what do you mean by this line? You need to wait for a password. Reading. Then it is reading. What do you mean by A? Whatever the input you got it, it's reading. Comparing, compare it. System is comparing. Request lookup, request what? Then you got it, password is correct. Request activated. Request activation. And then waiting for some time. Activated, successfully activate. If it is time lock, it is giving you time lock message. What do you mean by this one? No number of step, it is not been activated. So do remember what do you mean by this. And one more things, I just wanted asynchronous message. asynchronous returns messages. We have to wait for a single. What do you mean by this dotted line? You have to wait for this. Sorry, you have to wait for this message. Represent just a reply message which is coming from this one. A reply message. Whenever it goes, it will reply for you. So what do you mean by that? This is a hometown. This is a homeowner. System is ready. He enter a password. Password is read at control panel. Then it is being look up, and then result. Yes, it's good. Comparing. Then password is correct. Request for activation. Activation you got. If it is not, it is like. So it is not a visual representation. It is not a visual diagram for your home scene. A homeowner want to enter into the system. It is sequence diagram of home safeguard function. Correct. And here also interaction with ATM machine. Sorry. A person is there. This is an actor. Insert a card. Wait for it sometimes. ATM. Verify the pin. Yes. Then invalid pin. You receive a pin message. Invalid with dotted line. Eject card. That's it. You invalid pin. Eject one. Request. Then other one. You have gone this one. Verify pin. Pin is verified. Deposit the amount. Agar when is verified, then you come up. Request. Once it is verified, what will happen? Request for amount. Enter the deposit amount. Deposit amount has been there. Updated. It is there in the database. It is going on in the database. Enter the withdraw amount. If you are withdrawing, it is being withdrawn. Once it is verified pin. If it is comes here, fine. Then I can use it. Otherwise, this reply will go. Then I can use all these options which are available. This is nothing but your sequence diagram of ATM. With this one, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.